I want to talk to you about my friend Charlie Crawford. He's a 10-time NFR qualifier.
Charlie Crawford, time to just shake it out and win. Got it on him fast, set
there
up.
We are.
Here's a day
nice
money
run.
lead. You betcha 3-8.
That's an absolute perfect run. Timing was perfect from the time the first swing is up. He's got the control. Charlie made it happen by being timed up with his horse with the steer, and being able to not just rope, but to pick that steer's head up without changing the momentum for the heeler at all.
We know his beautiful wife, Jackie, all three of their beautiful children, the founder of the Liberty and Loyalty Foundation, which this year will exceed $1 million raised for military and first responders. I've said it 1,000 times. Charlie, it's time to rope, nod and ride, whip and spur. I want to welcome you to the Charlie Crawford Podcast. Let's ride.
Hello, everybody. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there from this past weekend. Just want to let you guys know you guys don't go unnoticed. It's an important role we have, fellas. You know, how we provide for our family, how hard we work, how we're able to come home and be present, how we treat our wives is going to be a big example of how our kids are going to treat others in their relationships. And so our actions, our words, it's an important role. So it's one of those things, man. I'm sure you guys are a lot like me, man. We're in this together. It's a daily grind to be that dad, to step up and play that role. And so I'm in this with you, fellas. So happy Father's Day to you guys, and a big happy Father's Day out there to some of the guys out there that you're fathering kids that ain't yours. You know, you're stepping up to where I see a lot of dads out there that, you know, maybe there's kids out there that their dads ain't around or their dads have passed. And I've seen a lot of guys step up and play that role and be a father figure out there to those that need it. And so huge thanks to you guys too, man. That's a heroic role you guys step up to play. So thank you guys for that. Love your guys' effort. So got some open clinic dates coming up. So if you're interested in hosting a clinic, I've only got 3 dates left for this year. So if you're wanting to get me out there and do a clinic in your area, I have July 26th through the 27th open. I have August 10th through the 11th open, and November 2nd through the 3rd open. Corey Kuntz and I are excited about our Champions Level Clinic, November 12th through the 14th at NRS in Decatur, Texas. So for a lot of you guys headed out there to Arizona for all the winter jackpots, getting ready for Vegas, this is a clinic that I'm very excited about. We want to get you guys ready for it. We're going to set up the boxes the same as the big money out there in Vegas. We're going to time it. We're going to research the runs that you need to make to get in the money, and we're going to video it so we give a full breakdown to get the run that you need to get in that roping that you're roping in to try to get you guys in the money. So we're very excited about that, me and Corey are. Any information you guys have or any questions you guys have, email me at charliecrawfordtraining@gmail.com. Now remember, my name is spelled CharlieCrawford. I've heard some guys been sending me some emails but got the first name wrong on the spelling, so that way you can get the name spelled right. Send me an email and we're going to get that thing booked up and filled up, and I'm excited about it. So parents/coaches, man, this is a tough balance right here. It's hard to separate sometimes the two, but in a way you're kind of both. You know, you're constantly coaching your kids, whether you're their coach or whether you're not. And so, you know, this is something that I'm trying to get better at myself. This is something I'm studying myself. The one thing that I have to give my mom and dad credit for is the fact of the things that worked that I'm able to use with my kids, and the things that also didn't work. Either way, you're analyzing how you were raised, what worked, and what you're trying to do better than what you felt like your parents could have did better with. Either way, you got to give them credit for it, because either way, it's molding you to be the parent/coach that you desire to be. And so effort is a big one. Man, I am all in on effort. Whether it's my kid, whether it's another kid, when I go to a clinic and I see effort, I am all in. I will come early and I will stay late, because that's a kid right there that's hungry. He wants it. I am in. I am all in. One of the hardest things that sometimes that I think that we have, for me, that I got to balance is when maybe there's a time for timeout, or when I feel like it's a bad attitude. There can be a fine line there. If I can see a kid that's giving all the effort that he can, and he's getting frustrated, and he's trying so hard, probably trying too hard, you know what? I think it's time for a timeout. Let's go ahead and uncinch real quick. You know, he's not having a bad attitude, but he's just trying really hard. Let's go get a glass of ice water. Let's sit down. Let's break it down. Let's take a deep breath. Maybe watch a couple videos. Kind of get our mind back into it again. I don't see a wrong right there sometimes when there's a time for a timeout. I really don't. Now, I think that's when you need a break to kind of get your wits back about you, get your mind back right again, and then get back after it. Now, to me, that's different than when you have a bad attitude. The bad attitude is the one thing I will squash the crap out of. I do not want to see a bad attitude. I do not want that to turn into a habit. Just like we've talked plenty of times on this podcast, you know, Trevor Brazile talks about it really good where, you know, a little kid that can't control his emotions turns into be a big kid who can't control their emotions. And so if I see a bad attitude, we are going to stop. We're going to see if the kid is able to try to change his attitude. And if we need to squash some things with some discipline or some scolding or things like that to where it's out of hand, then there's time for it. What I'm trying to find out is like, am I pouring gas on a fire or do we need a breather? You know, you're trying to find that balance. But if I see any aggression towards an animal and they're taking their frustration out on their horses, that is one habit that I want to make sure that I break. I do not want that. That's that emotions we got to learn how to control. And as far as that coach role, I feel like it's a solid encouragement. You're just solid, constantly trying to encourage those kids with a positive attitude, really encouraging that teachable spirit. You know, you can do this and trying to shape my words to where I try to get rid of the don'ts. That's the one thing that I think my dad instilled in me was he always said, don't, Charlie, don't stick your finger in the light socket. Charlie, don't do this, don't do that. Then I had to work on constantly trying to reshape what I focused on. Because if you're focusing on what not to do, man, it's a real hard mindset to win with. And so now that I'm a dad or a coach, I'm really trying to be very mindful of the words that I'm saying to him, where I'm trying to tell him what to do instead of what not to do. Because I think that shapes them. That shapes how they focus on what their job is at hand. And so I feel like my role as a coach or a parent is to, instead of saying, hey, don't stick your finger in the light socket, keep your finger out of the light socket. And so you're able to try to look for ways to where you're able with your words to show them what to do on all things. I feel like that helps in and out of the arena, because I really think that's the goal behind coaching these kids, whether they're going to be, you know, an athlete in the arena, an athlete out of the arena, or towards a job that they feel passionate about. I think that's going to mold them. That's just my personal opinion. The movie 7 Days in Utopia is a great flick. It's a great movie. One of the things I loved about David Cook, he talked about, was see it, feel it, and trust it. And so what they see creates a feeling. So if we're able to produce the positive run that they want to make, you know, that really shapes a lot of how they're going to also, I think, feel about themselves. You know, if they're able to think positively about themselves, that creates a feeling. And if our words are critical, man, that's a tough one right there, because then that produces a critical mindset for themselves. That's how they're going to see themselves. And so really trying to shape my words where it's a productive encouragement. Like I said, when there's a bad attitude, there's a line right there for sure. There's a time then for discipline. I'm totally in with that. But I think if we can shape our words to where it's positive, it's encouraging, it's productive. If we messed up, no sweat. All right, here's where it went wrong. Let's see if on this one right here we can fix that, and we'll get our run back into where we need it to be. And I think that's my goal as a dad. That's my goal as a coach. I'm still working on this daily. I think we all are as fathers. I think we all are as parents. And so anyways, I'm not hopefully taking it to where I'm talking down anybody. I'm hoping that this podcast is seen to where I'm talking with you, because I'm doing my best every day to try to get better, to try to make sure that I'm trying to raise kids that are going to be contributors to society, and I'm hoping that I can do my best to where I hope these kids are positive about how they feel about themselves in and out of the arena, and I hope this helps. So thanks everybody for listening.